Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to the program. Sorry, folks, we had some technical difficulties here. It's a very warm day out here in Southern California, and unfortunately, things just do not always work. I felt it was like that episode of Space Force where you've seen it in the previews where they're trying to respond to something. All of a sudden, the guy says, "Oh, blankety blank. What? Microsoft's doing an upgrade right now." And my computer decided to do it just before I went live. But no matter what, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. As I said, welcome to Monday Night America here on the NDB Media Network. It is July 14th, 2025, and thank you for joining me. And it is all good in the hood, so they say. So, uh, thank you for joining the longest running program on the internet since September of 2008. We've been on air and we've been doing this for a very long time. We're very, very happy about it too. And I think the episode count may be wrong. Oh, I think it says episode 1726, which should be the next episode. Oops. I think I'm going to have to fix that. Oh, man. How am I going to do that? I better take a look at StreamYard right now. I think I aired big time. Yeah, I'm almost certain I did. Let's see, Monday Night America last time was what? What was it? Well, I can't enter the studio because then it's going to go ahead and cause me a bunch of problems. But yeah, episode 17.26 should be next week. Oops. All right, well, we'll correct that. Hopefully the sound is coming out as it should. I didn't have a chance to check it. I have been having some sound issues. So let me see. Okay, it says that I'm doing that. All right. Well, anyway, again, thank you for joining us. And I have an article for you guys I'd like you guys to check out. And I'm going to put it in the chat room. It's stuff that I find on the internet. It's kind of useful. This one is from Daily Passport. 7 unusual monasteries you have to see to believe. It is some pretty crazy stuff. There's a lot of good stuff right there. If you guys want to follow along the link, if you're in the chat room, go ahead and let me know, and we'll give you a shout out. Definitely. I'm gonna leave that on screen for a moment, and I am going to share the screen so I can show you what I'm looking at. This stuff that I find on the internet, find it fairly interesting. But as I mentioned, 7 unusual monasteries you have to see to believe. Of course, the first one is in Kutsky, PR, Georgia. This tiny church, perched precariously on a slim limestone pillar high above the surrounding countryside, is one of the most remarkable pilgrimage sites in Georgia, a country in the Caucasus region bordering Europe and Asia. Monks began living here as early as the 10th century, though the church itself predates that by several centuries, of course. Monks stopped practicing at Kutsky in the 15th century when the Ottomans arrived in the country. But the rock was scaled again in 1944 when 3 monastic cells and a wine cellar were discovered. Of course, find some liquor, gotta go see what's going on. Yes, I have a lot of advertisements because I buy the Daytimer product. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you for joining me. Zhuangkang Monastery in China. As you see the image, that one is from Heckle61 on Shutterstock. The Zhuangkang Monastery makes an arresting first impression, no doubt, appearing as a gravity-defying complex suspended from a cliff face overlooking Xinhua Gorge in China's north-central Shaanxi province. Of course, on closer inspection, visitors will see a series of wooden beams and platforms that anchor the temple pavilions in the rock of Hengshan Mountain, giving the site its Hanging Temple nickname. Zhuangkang has stood here for over 1,500 years and remains a remarkable site, even more so when you learn that it was the work of a lone industrious monk in 491 AD. Interestingly, the location isn't the only unusual aspect of this temple. It's shared between multiple religions, Taoism, Confucianism, and Buddhism are practiced together in the Sanxiao Hall, whose name translates to three religions. Debre Damo. I don't know the actual pronunciation of that first word, but this one is in Ethiopia. Debre Damo is located in southern Ethiopia, high on a flat-topped mountain. To reach it, monks and male visitors are hauled up a 49-foot high cliff face on a plated leather rope. Oh, my goodness. Female visitors are not permitted to enter and must remain at the foot of the cliff. The origin of this colorful monastery are, of course, a little hazy, but historians generally believe that Debre Damo was founded by monk Abuna Aragawa during the reign of King Gabriel Meskel. Oh, I actually know that guy, and I always butcher his pronunciation. Anyway, in the 6th century, the monastery's church, dating from the 10th or 11th century, is thought to be the oldest in the East African country. It is known for its Aksumite architecture, ancient manuscripts, and other religious treasures, though sadly, it has been heavily looted and badly damaged during the Tigray War in 2021. This one is in Croatia. The Sovac Monastery, pronounced Vesovac, I guess I read this in advance, didn't I? Is located in the middle of a river in Croatia's Krka National Park. The monastery is situated on a small oval-shaped island ringed by cypress trees. It dates to the 14th century when Augustinian monks constructed a church on the island. Later in 1445, a group of Franciscan monks fled Bosnia, took over the monastery, and enlarged it. The complex visitors see today is a new monastery that was built in the 18th century, of course, after the older one had fallen into disrepair and had to be demolished. It houses a collection of rare manuscripts and books, including an illustrated copy of Aesop's Fables, printed in 1487. Wow. Townkalat, Myanmar. Townkalat, meaning pedestal hill, overlooks its surroundings from the top of an extinct volcano, close to Mount Popa in Myanmar's Mandalay region. The site for this Buddhist monastery was chosen so that followers could worship in the Nats, spirits thought to bring good fortune and protection, which are said to live here. To reach Townkalat's gold stupas, pilgrims and monks climb 777 steps, which wind around a rocky crater that started out as a volcanic plug. In doing so, they must also navigate a population of mischievous macaws, primates who might like nothing better than to steal food, water bottles, hats, sunglasses, and any other loose items from careless tourists. If you visit, look out for the novice monks in peak robes and rarely seen yetis. In this case, not the hairy Himalayan creatures, but rather hermit monks recognizable from their peaked caps. I wonder if those are the ones that have the caps where it blocks their vision and they cannot see who is giving them donations. I wonder if those are the ones that they're talking about. I'm actually hoping to go there. Santa Catalina, Peru. Many monasteries are located in remote places, and the isolated settings provide ideal for meditation and meaningful prayer. So to find a working monastery in the middle of a large urban area might come as a surprise. Santa Catalina is just that, located in Arequipa, Peru's second largest city. It was founded in 1580 by a wealthy widow named Doña Maria de Guzman. Initially, the monastery consisted of cloisters for Dominican nuns from the 16th to the 18th centuries. The builders used a local white volcanic stone called CR. At Santa Catalina, it is painted in bold shades of coral pink and cobalt blue. Despite the heavy traffic from curious tourists, many of whom sign up for a guided tour, a community of around 20 nuns still lives in the northern part of the monastery. Paro Kakstan in Bhutan. In probably hugging the side of a sheer cliff that overlooks the Paro Valley, is one of Bhutan's 13 so-called tiger lairs. Small monastery said to have hosted the Buddhist master in the 18th century. A Brahmin royal, Padmasambhava, spread Tantric Buddhism throughout Tibet and Bhutan and is considered as nearly as holy as the Buddha himself in the region. Legend has it he arrived at Paro Taksang on a flying tiger and meditated in a mountainside cave for months before subduing local demons and beginning to convert Bhutanese locals to Buddhism. Visiting the monastery is not for the faint of heart. It's a 2-hour, 3,000-foot climb from the valley floor, which is already 7,000 feet above sea level. The trail, while well-maintained, is quite steep, with countless switchbacks that afford fleeting glimpses of the monastery through dense trees and frequent mists. From Paro Taksang's entrance, visitors descend a set of steps carved directly into the cliffside. These lead down to a secluded gorge where you'll all be awed by a towering waterfall before heading up the other side and arriving at the actual monastery. After removing your shoes and climbing several more levels, you'll reach the sacred cave where he himself is said to have meditated. 7 unusual monasteries. So, I was going to have the images done, but I was unable. Actually, I had a lot to do this week. We had our high school seminar reunion this Sunday in El Monte, and it turned out well. I saw many classmates that I hadn't seen in a while. And I also saw other classmates that I had seen in a few days or even weeks. There was one class. I met 3 new classmates that predated me that graduated in the 70s and 80s. And I met a classmate that I'd forgotten about. He was a freshman my senior year, but he was only there for the first quarter. And I generally did not remember him. But he remembered me, and he talked about playing D&D. I said, oh, I never played D&D, but Axe, and he finished the word, Axis and Allies. Yes, so that was kind of cool. That was neat. He remembered that. Like, wow, I wish we would have pictures. I really wish we would have. But we don't. So, hey, it is what it is. I've been spending a lot of time going over the one big, beautiful bill, and I'm probably going to have a Jedi tax episode sometime in late August to talk about it. But have no illusion. This will add more debt to our yearly budget as well as our overall budget. And it doesn't take a fool to realize that the math is not mathing, as they say. My business clients are going to lose their mind on all of the deductions and options and everything that's available for them. My high earning clients, the ones that earn over $500,000, it'd be great for them. Absolutely great. And I've already gone over some of the numbers. Oh my God, the amount of money that they're going to save is just absolutely unbelievable. And those tax deductions have been made permanent. Everyone else, the working class, middle class, theirs are not. Of course not, because that's the way they do it. So, as someone who has been a financial planner for 38 years, it's not very difficult to see all this. Now, are there benefits for everyone? Yes, but you have to understand that a $1,000 benefit for someone that earns $40,000 is not the same as a 7% cut on someone that earns $800,000 a year. It's just not the same. It's not even close. But it doesn't matter. It is good for all to pay less taxes. And let's get real. You know, look, even though I do what I do, I'm not a tax and spend liberal. I am a conservative when it comes to taxes. But there are ways to do things properly. There are things for the better good. But I'll talk about that in future episodes about when it is good for all of us to be taxed for good, such as roads, sewer systems, electrical grids, stuff like that. And some people would say electrical grids are private sector. Well, yeah. But they're dams. Dam! Forgot that one. You know, dams like Hoover Dam, Boulder Dam, Colorado Dam. You know, I don't think there's Colorado Dam. There may be, but there's reason for the common good, military and stuff. But it is more of an opinion that I'm giving right now. But on the thing I just said a minute ago, this one big beautiful bill is heavy, heavy to everyone above the middle class. There's no doubt. Um, I'm already estimating $1,600 lost for most people over the life of this bill, which is the next 3 years. That's a lot of money, and that's just not fair. So, you know, we'll see. But the tax system is not fair in America. Should it be fair? So is that a little socialist or communistic, or is that for the better good? That'll be another conversation for another day. But for right now, having perused the bill, yes, I read it. It's what I do. Yeah, it's crazy. Like I said, all of my business clients are going to lose their mind. There's some good stuff in there, as should be. But there'll be some other things that we can talk about another day. As far as what else did I have? Oh, I had another thing I want to talk about too. Drinking rules in other countries or etiquette. I understand that there are different levels of etiquette when it comes to which spoon, which fork, whatever. I'm not smart enough. Oh, sorry. Did we lose the internet connection? I see that I am having internet difficulties, so I apologize. I see my signal has dropped significantly, and I am not on a wireless connection. I am on a wired connection, insulated heavy-duty wire. I'm talking about etiquettes for drinking, and I sound like I'm drunk. I'm not. I will be going shortly with my daughter to Barnes & Noble, as we do every Monday night. That's why I changed the schedule on Monday Night in America. And I got to tell you, as I announced last week, I am looking at doing a morning program from maybe 5 a.m. Pacific time to about 8 a.m. I don't know yet. Maybe 5 to 7, 2-hour program. I'm looking for feedback, and if there is anyone interested in co-hosting with me, I'm going to go through a formal process to see if you are interested in joining. But instead of Monday Night America, it'll probably be Morning in America. I don't know. And it's probably going to run all week, Monday through Friday. I don't know. I'm still working out the details, but we'll see. It's just, I'm retired now. I have things I'm doing. I don't know if we're going to have a sports talk with the guys on Saturday, July 26th, because I will be up in Sacramento from July 24th through the 27th. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do Strange New Worlds either, because I'm heading up for a convention, and I know I'm just going from convention to convention to convention now. I haven't been able to do this before. I will not be in San Diego. I am instead going to Sacramento. So we'll see. Anyone want to give a shout out? If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. Fire them off in the chat room. I would love to hear what you have to say. But 4 rules for drinking etiquette in other countries. Number 1, in Italy, did you know that you don't order cappuccino in the afternoon? As anyone who's ever seen these viral videos of people breaking spaghetti in front of aghast Italians already knows food is a way of life in Italy. This is equally true of coffee or cafe, which is unsurprising when you recall how many forms of it originated there. Espresso, macchiato, which is what I'm going to have at Barnes & Noble within the hour. I'm going to have a venti hot caramel macchiato. Anyway, and cappuccino, to just name a few. If you try to order a cappuccino after 11 a.m. in Rome, however, you may get a funny look. It's considered a morning drink due to the milk, and it is usually consumed relatively quickly alongside a pastry or croissant. Traditionally, breakfast in Italy is sweet rather than savory. Espressos and macchiatos, meanwhile, are meant to be savored and don't have much added milk and sugar. This is rooted in practical concerns as milk is considered difficult to digest, making it more suited in the morning when your body has more time to process it. Did you guys know that most of the world is lactose intolerant? I did not know that. And I remember reading that about a year ago. How much of the world, let's ask this question, is there it is, lactose intolerant? If you look it up, the first answer comes to you from the National Institutes of Health, NIH. I was there in Washington, D.C. back in May, and I'm receiving an emergency alert. A silver alert has been activated by the California Highway Patrol on behalf of the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Office. Tomas Cobayas is missing and endangered. Tomas Cobayas was last seen on July 14th at 12:30 p.m. in Pomona. Oh, okay. There's a link for additional information. This is a local emergency alert. It's a silver alert. But going back to this, I was stunned by this. 65 to 75% of the world's population experience some level of lactose intolerance. The condition is more common in Africa and Asia. Wow, that's crazy. Did not know that. Let's look at a lactose intolerance map of the world. Oh, come on. Open up. No, this is not my Saturday night program. Lactose intolerance. Look at that. Yellow, 0 to 20%. That's United States, Europe, and Australia, and New Zealand, Iceland, and Svalbard. 20 to 40% is orange. That's Canada and parts of Alaska. Russia, the stands. What's that one? Oh, come on. Turkey. Like the Alps. Wow, that's crazy. 40 to 60%. Nah, that's Mexico. And Spain, Italy, Greece. Wow. Or the Balkans. 60 to 80%. Central America, the Caribbean, the northern half of South Africa, South America. This has to be the Persian influence. Wow. India all the way, well, not completely Persian, but the Middle East. From Pakistan all the way over to Senegal. Well, no, actually, all the way over to Ecuador. That's crazy. And Greenland. Ay, that last. Oh, no, that's not. Ay, that last. And 80 to 100% South Africa. Ooh, I wonder when I go to Argentina if they're going to serve milk. South Africa, Madagascar, Indonesia, New Caledonia, Asia, Mongolia, Japan, Taiwan, Philippines, Southeast Asia. Wow, that's crazy. There you go. That's one that I did not know. Lactose intolerance. I am not lactose intolerant. I'm just intolerant. I'm being stupid. In Japan and South Korea, don't pour your own drink. Should you be lucky enough to find yourself sipping sake in Japan or soju in South Korea anytime soon, be sure not to pour your own glass. Instead, offer to pour for others and expect that they'll do the same for you. This is a key part of etiquette in both countries, and it even has a specific term in Japan. Shaku suru, also known as kumu. It makes drinking more social and interactive, ensuring that conversation flows as steadily as drinks. I suppose I've seen this in movies and some TV shows, but the realization didn't hit, but I believe I've seen this. If you're drinking with older people in South Korea, meanwhile, hold your drink with both hands while they pour for you and turn your body away from the elder when taking a shot. I do know this one. In Russia, in the Rodina, don't put a glass on the table until it's empty. Vodka is an intrinsic part of Russian culture. When the average person, I don't know why I'm slurring my speech. The person drinks an average of more than 17 shots per month. more than any other country in the world. As you might expect, there are a number of customs to go along with all that history. For starters, Russians don't actually say "not zadvoya" when toasting. They don't have a single equivalent to cheers at all, instead saying different phrases on different occasions. I believe they said Vostrovia, or is it Vostrovia? As a matter of fact, one of my classmates told me that this Saturday. Tony. Oh, I get to pick on Tony because he said he's from Scandinavia and he has a big M on his head, which I suppose I might have a big M. But I got it was funny. My buddy Nacho, 20 seconds before, said the same thing when he said, "Look, I got an M," you know. Yeah, for Mamon, because the conversation was happening a little bit in Spanish. And Nacho died laughing. I just 20 seconds before. That was funny. But just as importantly, proper etiquette is down your entire shot in one go. Don't put a glass on the table unless it's empty, and put empty bottles on the floor rather than on the table. And as harsh as some considers the taste of vodka, in Russia, the Rodina, it's almost always consumed neat rather than mixed. Ooh, I actually know what they mean by neat. I've learned that. Respect your elders in China. Chinese drinking culture can be summed up by the famous proverb "Jiu fen ji, qiang ben xiao," which translates loosely to "with a close friend, 1,000 cups of wine is far too little." Another important tune is ganbei. It means empty cup and is used for toasting. As in many aspects of Chinese culture, respecting one's elders is of the utmost importance when drinking. Never raise your glass higher than theirs when clinking your glass against theirs during a toast. And if you're toasting several people during a special occasion, start with the oldest person first. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Let me know your thoughts. We will be on next week again. And it will be the correct episode 17.26. This is 17.25. Man, I got it wrong. What a bonehead. I guess, idiot. Idiot. What's a Russian word for go? I don't even know the heavy swear words. I'm not going to do that right now. Anyway, it's all good. Thinking of doing a morning program. Let know your thoughts. Tentatively running from about 5 a.m. to about 7 a.m. Pacific time, Monday through Friday. If you are interested, drop me a line and hosting with me. I'd like to get maybe a group of 4 people or so, and we'll see. But I will probably be starting on my own, and it's just going to be a morning talk show. So we'll see what I do. But for now, everyone, thanks for joining. This is Monday Night America on the NDB Media Network, the longest running program on the internet since September of 2008. Someone had the audacity to tell me that Rogan's been on longer. No, he started in 2009. Ha! I have to do a Saturday night program. There's a lot of stuff that's been happening in my life as of late. A lot of bad. Funny bad. And yeah, I haven't talked about what happened in Vegas or what didn't. Okay. Don't be stupid, dude. I know. I'm talking to myself. Don't reveal everything. It's true what they say of Vegas. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. But that's not what I'm going to talk about. What I'm going to talk about is yours truly's failures in life. And that's actually a lot funnier than the other story. But I have a few things to go over and some other things that have happened in the last few weeks as well. So the Saturday night program, I should be booking it very, very soon. So other than that, thank you all. Appreciate it. Follow the link. Check out everything that's happening on the network. And for now, I'm your host, Roger Noriega, longest regularly program on the internet. We'll see you guys on the other side. Peace! Bonus points if you tell me which movie I'm giving homage to.